So you see a lot of players will come out into the back, and they'll come in and they'll hit a really good drive down the wall. Maybe, we talked about that dying length. In that scenario, when they know the options are cut down to only a straight ball, you see players will come right up and they will take this position on the court. They will not just go back to, when you hit the ball, let's go back to the tee, right? They will take a side position on the side that the ball's on, hoping that the return isn't good enough. They can step across, volley, and attack the ball. So when you've hit a great shot, your tee position changes tremendously. So on the backhand, you could be this far across sometimes. If the person's got angles, you might then have to take a neutral position. But you're covering the side that you're attacking on. And I think a very good example, I always think, is Ramy Ashour, and there's other people like Miguel. They'll come into here and they'll play a straight drop, and it's a brilliant shot. So what they do then, when their opponent comes in, they stand here waiting for the return. They're not moving all the way back to the tee, and they're just waiting for the ball to come out, and boom, they're in, and it's probably the end of the rally. And I think the other issue is like ARMA SHABANA, who was brilliant at this. He would be hanging on the tee. Someone would want to look to put a boast in, because he saw the ball so earlier than most players. He was already, if a boast was coming in, he was already on the move before the ball was struck. So what he basically did in all the situations I've just talked about, it's created the distance between your shot and in relation to your opponent. So when it comes to, you might come in and play a drop shot, the guy can't get there or the lady can't get there because the distancing is too far. And I noticed at the Super Series recently, with the girls especially, every time someone got the distancing right with good length, when it came to playing the drop shot, half the girls couldn't get there, because the distancing between where they were and where they had to go and get the ball was too much for them. I mean, that applies to the men's game as well, but it was a little bit more noticeable in the ladies' game in that event. So the thing to remember is you're attacking a position, you're covering all the time and setting your positions up in different angles, especially when you're coming into a shot where your opponent has very few options to hit into.